As well as tonight, I think it's only fair that we touch upon some various other things that are going on in the world of boxing. Everybody seems to be off to Saudi Arabia at the moment. Spence, what do main events look like in the UK going forward?
Well, this is the interesting point, isn't it? Because everyone's going to want that Saudi money. That's where the big fights are going. That's where the fighters want to go, obviously, because it's called prize fighting. It's about money. But what they've done out in Saudi Arabia is obviously taking the politics away from the sport, because they're using all the different promoters for the first time. I mean, we've seen Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren sitting next to each other, hand in hand. When would you have ever thought that happens? Money talks, and the Saudis have got the money, and they're putting these fights together. So it's that, you know, that's the plus side for all this. But will all the fighters, this is the big thing, will all the fighters now be hanging out for that money? You know, will we still get the same volume of shows over it? But I think on the flip side, it gives more kids opportunity, because the kids now going to be wanting to showcase their skills over here on these shows. Opportunity, looking for that dream to get over there and box on one of those big shows. And we're talking about that.
Yes.
And as we're talking about that, one very special fight has just come and sat in with us, Mr. Josh Taylor. A fight, Josh, welcome, by the way, mate. Good to have you on the show with us. We're hearing here, mate, that today it's signed, the rematch, Jack Catterall, and it could be in the Middle East.
Yeah, well, I'll shut that down right away. I don't know where that came from, and nothing's been signed, nothing's been accepted yet, but we are in discussions, you know, and we're hoping to get this fight over the line sooner rather than later, you know, so we're both wanting the fight, but, you know, Matchroom are being a little bit, you know, don't want to, for lack of a better word, I'll just leave it there. But yeah, they need to get the pencil out a little bit, but we're getting there, so hopefully we get this fight made soon and we get this thing put to bed.
Why do you think they are holding up, Josh?
I'm not too sure, you know. You need to ask the lawyers and ask Matchroom and ask Eddie, you know. But I'm good to go. I'm ready to go. I want to fight, you know. Hopefully we aim for hopefully, you know, March, April time. So we're ready to go.
What are your plans now going forward? Obviously, you smashed it at 140. You've spoken in the past that maybe you want to maybe have a look at 147 now, and try and become multiple weight world champion and unify up there as well. What are your immediate plans?
Yeah, that's still in my plans. You know, it's still in my plans to become a two-weight world champion in terms of achievement-wise and keeping the hunger and ambition and the drive there in the game. I've got nothing else left to win at 140. I've won it all, you know. So in terms of ambitions and goals and targets and new targets to set and not standing still, it's setting new targets to become a two-weight world champion. So yeah, that is in the future plans. Yeah.
I mean, that would be the obvious move for you, Josh, wouldn't it? I mean, it's no secret that 140 was always getting a struggle for you. You've achieved pretty much everything you could achieve down there. You've become a pound-for-pound star, dominated that 140 division. Surely that would be, like, from your side of things and for legacies and, you know, your career personally, surely that's the obvious move. 147, big fights up there as well, and you would probably fit in better there right now at this stage of your career.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that is the targets, longer term targets, you know. But right now we're trying to focus on getting this Catterall fight done and over the line and signed and sealed.
And that would be at 140, would it?
Well, we'll wait and see. We'll get all the nitty-gritty bits done with the lawyers and whatever, and see what's happening there.
Well, cool. I'll come back to that in a minute. How are you enjoying Liverpool?
Yeah, good, brilliant. You know, it's just like back home. They're all just as mad as me, so I'm fitting well. I'm fitting in well.
Well, you made that move to the Rotunda Gym with Joe Mack there, and it seems to be working very, very nicely. Obviously, you've got a busy, buzzing gym, some good fighters in there. What are you adding to the Tornado arsenal since you've been in that gym?
Oh, listen, in this game you're always learning. You're always learning new things and new little intricacies from different minds in the game. You know, the minute you stop learning and developing is the minute you stop improving. So yeah, I'm always learning new things with Joe and Declan. You know, they're teaching me little new things that I've never seen before and stuff. So yeah, I'm really happy with where I am and the progress I've made. You know, obviously we never got the result the last time out, but I had a really good camp, and leading up to it, performing really well. Just on the night, I wasn't good enough on the night. I never turned up on the night, but I believe that myself. I'm the best version of myself. I believe I beat Teofimo Lopez, but it's been and gone, you know. And he was better than man on the night, so there's no excuse for me. He was better than me on the night, but I really feel that I'm having a great time here with Joe and Declan and learning a lot and improving all the time as well.
But those are the moments for all fighters. Whenever we speak to fighters, they're the key moments in people's careers, that they take those particular moments and then obviously go back to the gym, work on whatever it was that wasn't right on that particular night. And that's the exciting thing from a fan point of view, because you look at it and you go, I want to see what the comeback looks like.
Yeah.
Well, and do you know the beauty about that as well is, like, you know, with Josh Taylor, where he's at in his career, where he's sat in his career, he's already cemented his legacy in so many ways. You know, he's going down as one of the greatest Scottish fighters ever to come out of Scotland, you know, and you look at that and you go over there and he has an off night against Teofimo Lopez. I think that we've seen with previous performances, and that performance he had there, he did look a little flat, and you go, you know, was it the weight? Where was he at? Like, what is the desire?
What do you put that down to?
Listen, it was just on the night. Just on the night, you know. There was obviously little issues and stuff there, but then what's the point in saying it? Because then I just get, you're coming up with excuses, you know.
Fair enough.
So
yeah.
on the night, I turned up, had a good camp. I had little issues obviously leading up to the fight, but I went into the fight because I felt good. I felt good and I felt great. I had a great preparation, prepared to the best of my ability with that injury that I had. And, you know, I went in the fight, I felt good. I was sparring well, I was knocking out 3-4 sparring partners. And yeah, I felt great. Just on the night, he was better than me. He turned up, nah, never. That was all. So,
Josh, I want to ask you, mate. Like, so once you come up, you know, and you have that defeat, and you know, then people start asking questions. You know, where is Josh right now? You know, is he at? Does he still got that burning desire? Yeah. Does he still want to achieve and accomplish different things? What does it do to you as a fighter, like those setbacks like that? And like you say, you know, you change your team, you go back to the drawing board, but does it relight the fire in your belly? Do you rediscover something when you lose like that sometimes? Because you're so used to winning, you know, and upsetting the odds. When you get a setback like that, what does it do to you as a fighter at that stage of your career?
Just makes me more determined. I've still got plenty to give in this game, you know, and having these doubts, you're finishing that. Listen, all the greats I've lost 4, 5, 6 times in the past.
Do you feed off that, by the way?
You have one loss and all of a sudden I'm lost, I'm past it and this and all that, carry on because I've had a couple of bad performances. So what? You know, it's happened throughout history. I'm still one of the best fighters on the planet. Whether you like it or not, I am.
Well, the resume backs that up.
Yeah, well, there you go. You know, I'm the first guy in the UK to become undisputed world champion in the full belt era in only 18 fights. Beating 6 undefeated fighters in a row. You know, so the record speaks for itself. I'm still a great fighter, but I'm going to give it, and the best is still yet to come. And I'm going to become a world champion again, and hopefully, if the time's right, if the belts all come available at welter, I get the chance to become a 2-weight world champion too.
I like that point. Where are the challenges do you see? Obviously, we've got a welterweight king right now, haven't we, in Terence, and he put in a wonderful performance against Errol Spence last year. Yeah. There's a lovely crop of fighters coming through. You probably put Jerome Ennis in there and a few others that you have a flirt around. Where are the challenges for you? Where are the ones that get you really excited?
Yeah, all of them names are great. That's why I'm in the game and that's why I'm still here. You know, I could retire right now and be happy, and I've had the career 1 in a million has had in the UK. You know, so I could happily retire tomorrow and say I've done okay in this sport and in the game. But me being me and being super competitive, I want to still push myself and challenge myself against the best. And all these guys that are in this division, they're the superstars of the sport and the big dogs, and I want to test myself against them all. So what's the point in being there just to be competitive? I want to go in there, I want to test myself, and I want to win. So yeah, absolutely believe in myself.
I mean, you said it there yourself, actually. It does take a lot of pressure off you, doesn't it, with your achievements and what you've achieved within the sport right now. You go, there is no more to prove. You've done it. You've been there, seen it, done it, beat the best in their backyards, and you've won pretty much everything. So now it's all about, you know, just you going and accomplishing more. Like, I mean, your career's already, your legacy's already cemented.
Yeah, but I love the game, and I love fighting, and I love boxing, and I'm still madly in love with it. So I'm going to keep going until I feel like I'm maybe not performing at the best in the gym or things like that, you know. And that's where the people around me, I've got good people around me. I really trust Joe and Declan and my old amateur coach Terry McCormack, who I've been with since a kid. You know, the people around me, when they start telling me things like that, look, you're not quite doing this, that's when maybe they'll tell me when I'm not performing at my best, and they'll tell me when it's time to hang up. But I am still in the prime of my career, and I'm going to be a 2-weight world champion eventually.
What's the roadmap for you? What's the dream for you? Where would you go? What's the dream fights? Because look, Josh Taylor, surely at this stage of your career, you want the big ones. You want the big names.
Obviously, I'd love all the big fights. You know, there was obviously talk a couple of years back of me boxing Terence Crawford and stuff like that. And you know, and if I've had the chance to fight a guy like that, you know, I'd rip your arm off for it. You know, it's the best guy in the sport. I've got so much admiration for Terence Crawford. He's, in my opinion, the best pound-for-pound fighter on the planet. I think he's got it all. He's got the charisma. He's got the style. He can box. He can fight. orthodox southpaw, back foot. He's got everything, you know. So if I had the chance to go in and test myself against him and fight him, and listen, I believe in myself. You know, if I'm not going to go in there just to try and turn up, I'm going to go up and I'm going to go in for a win. But yeah, these are the kind of fights that you hear me getting excited about, just talking about it, you know, and that's what's keeping me in the game, and that's I still feel and I still want these kind of fights, and I'm still in love with the game.
You've got that little pool of fighters, you know, there's them huge names out there, like your Devin Haney's, your Terence Crawford, your Gervonta Davis. There's some big fights to be made for you out there, and they're, I suppose, the fights that you crave now. Yeah, absolutely, and I feel I've definitely earned my stripes to be involved in these big fights, so if we can get them, then why not?
Regarding the Catterall fight then, where are you thinking that this is going to take place? Spencer alluded to Saudi Arabia there, but it's a fight that has to happen on British soil, doesn't it?
That got put on the table and got put towards me, and I shut it down pretty much straight away. You know, everybody's jumping on the bandwagon and fizzing off over to Saudi Arabia to get some of that Saudi money. You know, and I don't think that's fair on the UK fans. I don't think that's fair on the fans back here and the fans that have supported me my whole career, and to then get a big fight and bugger off over there where a lot of people aren't going to be able to afford to go over there and watch me. So this is a UK fight. This is, and it needs to be in the UK. It needs to be in Scotland or down here somewhere. You know, it's got to be in the UK for the UK fans.
That's really, really, really refreshing to hear you say that. How important, given what happened with that particular fight, how important is it for you to get that one and then go and show what people already know you're all about in that particular fight?
Yeah, you know, I've got a big bee on my bonnet as well from the fallout from it. You know, people like yourself give me a hard time, you know, with the comments that you come out with the corruption stuff and all that. That led to a lot of hate comments and stuff about my family. So I'm still a little bit angry at you with that.
Well, listen, I can understand that.
But listen, I've got a lot to prove in terms of the public opinion sort of thing. You know, so you're too right. I want to get this one done and I want to get it put to bed.
When we're thinking?
I'm not sure. Hopefully we're not that far yet. I still haven't had an offer, and I don't know where that come from today. I seen it on Instagram or whatever. I'd been tagged and the terms had been accepted, but I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard another offer or anything like that. So we're waiting to see. But hopefully it gets done sooner rather than later.
Good. Well, you're looking really well, mate. I'm hearing great things from that gym. How's my old pal Darren Till doing in there? Is he looking? He's looking sharp.
Yeah,
on
he's
the pads,
looking good. Do you know what? He's doing really well. Been watching him in sparring, and he's putting a few people over. You know, so yeah, he's starting to get a little bit of the boxing style, and he's still got that awkward MMA kind of style, which makes it work for him because it's really unorthodox for other boxers to come in and fight against that style. So yeah, it's quite good, and I think he'll do quite well.
Look at that, eh? We've got the inside there from the Tornado himself. Listen, thank you so much for being on the show.
No worries,
really
guys.
Appreciate it. We'll let you crack on with the remaining of your evening, and we're looking forward to seeing you back here, man, doing your thing. All the best to you, pal.
Thank you.
All the best. Josh Taylor there, just in case you're just tuning in to the show. No confirmation as of yet as to when he'll be back in the ring, but obviously it's imminent, and we're looking forward to seeing him do his thing. Top man. Thank you very much, Josh. Take care. Spencer, regarding those fights, and it was really refreshing to hear Josh speak there of British fights happening on UK soil rather than those ones that are obviously off to Saudi Arabia. We know that they're off to Saudi Arabia, a lot of them, but what we want is the big British fights to be happening on UK soil, and that is probably one of the biggest.
Listen, that was beautiful. That was music to my ears. You know, Josh is saying that I want to give it back to the British fans. You know, he's taking a lot of stick from the British fans. You know, and he's had a lot of backlash because of that fight, that controversial fight that he had with Jack Catterall. And he wants to, you know, he wants to turn that around. I love that. Getting that on in the UK. Him saying, listen, forget that. I don't want to go to Saudi Arabia. I want to do this for my people. That was music to my ears. That's brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. What other fights do you reckon? I mean, we've just heard from Boxer this week that we think we're getting Bellew Smith and Richard Riakporhe. That's obviously going to be something that's happening on UK soil, so there's a nice world title fight for everybody to get excited about. Again, a rematch.
Yeah, but listen, there's some big fights out there. We're talking Fabio Wardley, Fraser Clark. I'm hearing that's a fight that could be happening. A huge British title heavyweight title fight. We could be getting that here on these shores. There's going to be some big fights here. Listen, we're not going to lose all the major ones to Saudi Arabia. Yes, you know, their involvement in boxing, their investment in boxing, they are going to take a lot of the big fights there globally, not just from here, but we're still going to get the fights on British soil, which is great.